Immediately the product was actually introduced to me, I wanted to get on it, and that was the Gold Check account, guys. This has actually changed my business. So on the First National Bank app, you have the business toolkits that gives you all the information that you need to run your business, and whatever inquiries you have, they're always ready to answer. And that makes life very easy for me. And you have the in contacts that helps you access every transaction that takes place or happens. Now, point of sales terminal, I market wherever I go, and so I love to have that so I can take payment, especially with those who tell me I do not have cash. A bank that understands that you can start life all over again or start a business from scratch. Very keen on running it and making sure that you grow to the core. It's one you should look out for. My name is Jifa Gray, the CEO of Jifa Gray Creations. I recommend that you sign up to the Gold Check account from First National Bank for a great banking experience.
Whatever the occasion, with ATL, you can never be out of style. ATL, bringing fabric to life.
Welcome back, viewers. This is Business Compass, and we're still talking with Hayat, and we're looking at her new brand of products, Smino. So tell us, Hayat, how did you fund it when you started? How much do you think you put into this? How much do you know you put into this?
I don't have an idea.
Let's try. Let's work back. So you went for training?
Yes.
Okay, so training costs. We'll compute all at the end.
Yes.
Then you did some samples?
Yes. I bought some products. I mean the raw materials. I bought raw materials and packaging. Okay. Yes. And then I had to pay for my FDA certification.
FDA, okay.
Business registration.
Business reg. Okay.
And then I had to do my the labels and then my logo.
Your packaging?
Yes.
Logo?
Yes. I
Packaging
think those
as well?
Yes, I think those were the immediate
initial cost.
Okay. Yes.
And then you produced your first batch.
Yes.
And you gave it out for free, I'm sure.
I sold some.
Okay.
And then, in fact, all people were very gracious because I remember giving to people and saying that, oh, this is my new product. I want you to try it and give me your feedback. And then they were like, no, we want to pay for
That's
it.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I had a lot of support in that aspect. Yeah, but I gave some out and I still do give some out because I'm also,
I think Petra will talk about putting that on the marketing promotion. But my thing is, so do you track all the expenses you've made since you started?
Mostly I do, but not everything.
So how will you know when you've made a profit? Okay, before Frank comes in, let me just remind you that the difference between a hobby and a business is that there is profit.
Yes.
You set this up to make money.
Of course, yes.
So it's not a hobby.
I did my costing in terms of how much I'm buying the raw materials, how much I'm paying for my packaging and all that. So I do know the margin that I am making, which is a decent one. But I have not actually...
So you're producing at home?
Yes.
You're
I've not,
using
yes, so I've
water.
not, well, I separate.
Frank will have a lot to say about this. Frank, please speak to her.
Yes, so it's, the starting point, at least you should know how much it has cost you to start a product. So you were mentioning your training
Yes.
and all those things. Those ones, your research costs, those
Yes.
are your initial startup costs.
Right.
You didn't even talk about the place you produce the product.
Yeah, I had to, it's my outhouse, but I had to build on it, so I'll have like a production area and then an area to store my chemicals.
But you could have
as
done
well.
that and rented out the outhouse.
I could have.
You could have fixed up the outhouse and
and-
rented it out.
okay,
So
I haven't
it's
done that, yes.
No, but so the thing is, the you could have done that and received rent on
Yes.
the outhouse.
Yes.
So if you are using that outhouse to produce, what you are foregoing is that rent.
The revenue from the, yes.
So that must be factored into your costing.
I
Why am I
haven't
even
done
doing
that.
Frank's work? Frank,
It's good. It's good. It's good. So your initial startup cost you should know, because as you go ahead and things like that, if someone says, "Hey, you owe me tax" and things like that, you should be
Yes.
able to defend yourself.
Tax.
That maybe the entity hasn't made profit yet,
Yet,
because
yeah.
my initial startup cost is this. This is my material cost. If I deduct all, I'm not supposed to pay taxes. So
Right.
until I become profitable, I'll pay my tax. Other than that, they'll just come and give you an assessment.
That's correct.
And
I
now
think
you are
that
struggling to
you've
pay.
hit something that will make Hayat keep her records well. That would work.
And two,
In fact, I got the books, and like I said, you know, watching the previous episodes of Business Compass also was a guide for me. So I was
that's
taking notes, and I have my books and all that, but I've not really sat down to, I've not been consistent, but I like you're saying, I know the things that I'm
need
supposed to
to-
do, but I'm not
Yeah.
being religious
Because
about it.
if you don't compute it properly and capture all your costs, then you are overestimating your profit,
That's correct.
which of course makes you liable to a higher tax, but also deludes you into thinking you're doing well when you
when
could
you
have
are
been
not
improving.
actually,
Yes.
yeah.
Or you could actually be shortchanging yourself
Yeah.
because you haven't quantified the value of time, efforts, intellectual property, all of the things that you've put into
Salary for
developing this
Hayat for doing
No,
this.
salary.
into developing this wonderful product. You haven't costed all of that. So you might actually be undercutting yourself by pricing at a particular level. So it really does help for you to quantify all of the things that go into it. Your time, your effort, your sleepless nights,
Employees.
A lot of that.
the emotional stress, everything, your creativity, you have to cost that. You have to put all of that together. So you place value on what you're selling, not just the price, but even the sense of how important this is to a customer. It comes from you going through that process.
But
of
you know what?
What went
Let me
into
defend Hayat a bit. If she puts all that into it,
it. We come by.
exactly. How does she? Because if you read her vision, she says it's going to be affordable, even though organic, as in healthier than all the other options. So that affordability bit, if she's, I think I get her. When you put all this costing, especially your sleepless nights into it, no one can buy. How does she make sure that it remains affordable?
But affordable
Yeah,
to
so-
who? She has to define who she's trying to be affordable to.
They're
Do you want
trapping
to
us with
be-
the market segment thing.
Do you want to be
so-
affordable to everyone? As in, do you want to be a mass market product that everybody can buy everywhere? Then there's a place for that. That's how you will cost it. Do you want to be affordable to a particular type of woman, a particular type of man, a particular type of family? Then you put that together. So it really is about who you decide your customer is. And when you're talking about how you started the business, it was a very interesting story because you went through a process that makes a lot of sense in a situation like this. It says, so we're in this big problem, but what can we do?
Right.
And everybody most people who start a business, they're actually answering the question, what can I do? But what can I do for who?
Ooh.
And for how much?
That's so critical.
And what do I want to put into that whole process? So then you go through the process of specifically, I'm trying to find solutions for households. I'm trying to find solutions for women and children. I'm trying to find solutions for individuals who need to carry their soap around.
Yeah.
And so that's just the process. So it's very, very critical that at the beginning, you make the decision of who is my customer going to be. First of all, what problem do I want to solve? For who? How much? How am I going to get it to them?
But hold on, can you repeat that slowly? Let's say, what problem am I going to solve?
Yes.
For who?
For who? How much am I going to charge? How am I going to get it to them? So you think about your sales and distribution.
Okay. That really helps.
Yeah,
Does
and-
that make it better for you?
Yes, yes, very
And-
much.
And the other piece of it is that costing products is for decision making, right? So if you started and you realize that maybe my cost of inputs and things like that is high, then it informs the decision. Am I going for premium pricing and what market can afford that? Instead of because, oh, I need money to buy this, you spend your own money, you end up subsidizing people to take their
Is that
bath
what
or
you've
wash
been
their
doing?
hands. Because probably you are using your
I am
salaries to
using,
be...
I am using my savings and my salary and
So you are subsidizing people to bath.
Yeah.
And you are, business and emotions are different.
But you know, in
When is it put like that?
I mean, it's very serious. But you know, when you think about it that way, there's also a place for investing in the business
Yes.
in the medium to
Yes.
long term. You
Yes.
want to put in a lot of effort into it. But what we're saying is, you have to know how much you're
Yes.
putting into it. So if you go to maybe a hotel and they want to pay 50% of the price that you're offering it, you can actually say to them, I'm sorry, but no thanks. As much as I want this business, but it will be bad business.
Right.
That type of conversation. And then with your inputs, if you realize that your inputs are making you not affordable to the people you want to be affordable to, you begin to ask, are there alternatives? Can I use different inputs? What can I
Input, yeah.
do? Can I cut down on some of the cost items, for instance, that are creating
I take out my sleepless nights.
possibly you know, so you go through all of those processes just so that it helps you make the right
But
choices.
can I ask
for
a
the
question to Frank and to Petra? I think we all start business and the aim is to make profit. But especially when it's something you're passionate about, it becomes more emotional than rational. Doesn't this process also help you get to the point where you know that my why may have been good, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to make money?
Yes.
And so it may be time to give it up and go into a new business.
I think that's
venture.
where a lot of
I'm not saying that about Smino, I'm just saying.
yes, a lot of young entrepreneurs or startup entrepreneurs get
Even old
very,
entrepreneurs.
very attached to the business.
Yes.
And you mentioned that the difference between the hobby and the business is the profits.
Yes.
And there's a friend of mine who says that the only difference between your hobby and something that you're selling is the fact that you're making money. So
Money out
a
of.
hobby you don't really make much money out of. But I think the thing is, you have to take a step back and just ask yourself, is this commercially viable?
Yes.
And that's the
Such a
thing.
difficult
It's
question.
it's a very difficult question. And when you're passionate about something, you can go on and go on and go on, and you realize that
I think I've done things that,
I'm not.
I mean, it didn't
yes,
make sense.
Yes. So at the beginning, that's why you ask yourself, is somebody going to be willing to pay for this?
Right.
It can
And
sound
pay
very
the amount that makes it worthwhile.
worth it for me, yes. And maybe not just now, but in the near future, is it going to make and is it going to pay for itself? And I typically advise people who are engaged in not-for-profit situations, so NGO business, or they are supporting a cause, that still think about how is this venture going to pay for itself at
The
least.
sustainability.
Yes. So even if I don't want to make, it's not going to be about money, but how does it pay for itself? If I'm doing this for charity, can I at least cover the costs so that
Yeah.
I don't go back into my savings and create a situation where I'm now inconvenienced? So we are putting everything, the house is in the business, the
Yes.
children are in the business, everything
I
is
was
in the
going to
business
ask, are
and
your children
jeopardizing, yeah.
involved in the business?
One of them.
Does she get paid? She get paid?
No.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
so-
another cost.
And is that Smino
Let me-
herself?
No. Ironically, she's not.
She's not,
the
but
one
she has
who's
her name on
yeah.
the business.
Yeah.
It's my
So-
second daughter who is more passionate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one principle is that, look,
I
as-
don't let the younger ones help because of the chemicals, but then yeah.
Yeah, at passion and business always align. So you could be passionate about something, and therefore the money that will come is a result of it. But what I'm saying is, people are saying it's my hobby, it's my that. You are an entrepreneur. Your hobby is making money. That's your hobby. If you are an
I
entrepreneur,
love that.
that's your hobby. So all that you are doing, you are enjoying doing all that, but
The
ultimately
bottom line is the money.
is you make money. And if it's your hobby, you want to be doing it every day, and therefore it must be sustainable. And so you must manage your
finances. We're going to take a break on that note with that reminder that if you're an entrepreneur, your hobby is making money, nothing else. Frank has put it very clearly. When we come back, we're going to be looking at your legal structure. We're going to look at how that aligns with what you're actually doing. And then we're going to look at how it ties in with your vision. And then if we have some time in that segment, we'll go into your strategy, which I think would address some of the business challenges you wanted us to look at. So viewers, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll look at this legal registration for Smino, the compliance issues, how that ties in with her vision, and how that ties in with all her strategic outlook. So stay with us, and when we come back, we'll continue this very interesting conversation. But remember, if you're an entrepreneur, you have only one hobby, according to Frank: making money. See you after the break.